Hello, everyone, and welcome to Prospect Human Services webinar series. My name is Mercedes Rivero. I'm a workforce advisor at Prospect Human Services. We are going to wait maybe a couple more minutes just to make sure that everyone who registered to attend this webinar enters the platform and they're able to listen to the full presentation. So if you just join us, thank you so much for taking the time to connect today with us. We are excited about the topic that we're going to be talking about today. So if you just joined, welcome. We are going to probably wait maybe one more minute to allow the people who registered to attend this webinar to access the database. So if you just came in you just enter the platform, thank you so much. And for those of you who are there and are listening and waiting, this is the time for you to get pen and paper, maybe go get your I would say coffee, but honestly, if you are joining us from Calgary, it's actually quite hot, so maybe a cold glass of water. We are going to be starting in a couple of seconds, so if you just join us, thank you so much for taking the time to connect with us today. We will start soon. I see that the numbers stop moving, so I think we're gonna start. So if you just enter the platform, thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Mercedes Rivero. I'm a workforce advisor at Prospect Human Services. If this is your first webinar with us, thank you for coming. If this is not the first webinar with us, then you know the dynamics already. I'm going to do a very brief introduction about some of the services that Prospect provides for job seekers, and then I'm going to proceed to introduce our guest speaker today. So once again, if you just joined the webinar, thank you so much for taking the time to connect with us today. It's a gorgeous day outside, so I promise we'll be done in an hour, and then you can enjoy the rest of the afternoon with the beautiful weather that we're having in Calgary, which is fantastic because we've been getting kind of crappy weather in the past couple of weeks. So anyway, as you know, we're here to talk about the accreditation process for internationally trained professionals. And before we introduce our fantastic speaker today, for those of you who are not currently Prospect clients, Prospect is a not-for-profit organization that provides employment services to job seekers living in Alberta. So if you are a job seeker and you need a little bit of help preparing for an interview, you need assistance building your resume, maybe you need a little bit of orientation regarding your career and your next steps, that's what we do. All of the services that we provide are at no cost, so you can give us a call, send us an email, which I will provide that information at the end of the presentation. You can connect with someone right away, and you can talk to them about what your experience is, if you're having any challenges. Just recently, we started providing services in French, so if there are any French-speaking people listening to us today, we offer French services as well in both locations. Obviously, right now because of COVID, we're gonna start seeing limited in-person appointments, but you can receive services online or by phone, so that's very convenient for you. We also we just started offering mature workers programming. I believe it's gonna be starting in August. So if there are any mature job seekers over there that you require a little bit of assistance, please connect with us because we want to help you. We also have a job placement component, so we are constantly connecting with organizations in Calgary that are hiring in Alberta, and we'll be able to connect you with them as well, which is fantastic. We also have exposure course funding, work-related employment supports, and also events like the event today. We have monthly delivery events where we either talk about relevant topics for job seekers, which is the case, as I said today, but we also bring companies that are hiring And we have networking events where you can directly ask questions to employers, which is great. You can connect with them, and hopefully we're helping you. We're being that bridge between you and your future employers. So I would strongly recommend, if you haven't connected with one of our career advisors, give us a call, send us an email. As I said, the services are at no cost, so you have absolutely nothing to lose, and only good things to gain from the services that we provide. So you've been warned. This is what we do. Connect with us, and allow us to help you. And that's my little speech about Prospect today. For those of you who are listening to us, please feel free to send us questions through the chat, which should be on the side of your screen. I don't know which side. I believe it's probably the right side. So use the chat function throughout the presentation. We are going to wait till the end of our speaker's presentation just to make sure that maybe some of the questions that you may have, they might be answered by our guest speaker, but we will have time to address your questions at the end of the presentation. So please be patient, but do use the chat. We want to hear from you. That's why we're bringing a guest speaker, because we want you to connect with them. And if you have any questions, this is the time to ask and take advantage of our fantastic guest speaker. Also, a reminder, and I will send you this link through the chat during the presentation. If you're interested in learning more about other webinars that we have hosted in the past, please visit our channel. You can watch and rewatch and watch again all of our webinars, and we have information about how to improve your LinkedIn profile, information about applicant tracking systems, information about different industry sectors. So if you are a job seeker and you want to learn more, you want to learn a little bit more about some of the topics that we've been presenting in the past, feel free to go to our channel and check all that information. I think it's super useful, and you're going to see, as I said, you can only learn stuff that is going to help you. So, and that information is there for you. We want to help you, we want to assist you. So make sure to check our channel, and I'm sure you will find some very cool information. So today I am excited to introduce Rodica Barbu, information and financial counselor at Career Loans. And a little bit about Rodica. She brings extensive experience as a career counselor, assessor and case manager, and financial guidance counselor in the not-for-profit sector. She's also experienced in working with internationally trained professionals, providing individual one-on-one support counseling, employment and making financial informed decisions about training selection. She has a solid understanding of immigration issues in Canada and understands the current Immigration Act and policies. So, Rodica, if you're there and you're listening, this is the time for you to come on camera. I'm gonna be sharing your screen. Thank you, Rodica. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, Mercedes. I'm so excited to be here today.
Thank you again. Now I'm going to proceed to allow you to share your screen. Thank you again for coming today, and I'm excited to hear your presentation.
Thank you very much, Mercedes. As I said, I'm very excited to be here today and present to you this exciting topic of accreditation process for internationally trained professionals in Alberta. Today's agenda is about career loans and the topic of accreditation process in Alberta. The resources such as ALICE, the Alberta Learning Information Services, Icas, the International Qualification Assessment Services, and WES, the World Educational Services. And also, how can career loans help you? Career Loans is a fully virtual services for internationally trained professionals in Alberta. We offer free career support services and assistance with microloan applications, and a guide to internationally trained professionals so they can return to their careers. In this next slide, I'm going to share with you a video about career loans, so please enjoy. Thank you very much for that. So the next slide is about accreditation process in Alberta. For internationally trained professionals, one of the most difficult settlement concerns when immigrating to Canada, and that is with credentials recognition. Because of different educational standards, what a bachelor's degree in architecture may mean in another country, in Canada, it may be only a 2-year architectural technologist recognition and considered a partial completion of the program. In an ideal world, there may be some kind of standardized international post-secondary educational credentials recognition. However, for now, every time we go to a new country, our credentials need to be reevaluated to the local education standards.
And Rodica?
Yes?
So, sorry for interrupting. We can't see your screen. So I think you need to share your screen again.
Okay.
Okay.
So you can see the screen?
I don't believe I can see the presentation.
Okay. So I did share the, okay, share my webcam.
There you go. And we can see the video. So I think you just need to click on your presentation again.
Can you see it now? Mercedes?
Nope.
So I think, you know, the screen sharing went away.
So I'm gonna just very quickly, I'm gonna show my screen and then there you go. I'm gonna share your screen again and hopefully that should do it, okay?
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. So I'll go over that, you know, again, if that's okay with you. So for internationally trained professionals, One of the most difficult settlement concerns when immigrating to Canada is the credentials recognition. Because of different educational standards, what a bachelor's degree in architecture may mean in another country, in Canada, it may be only a 2-year architectural technologist recognition, and it's considered a partial completion of the program. In an ideal world, there might be some kind of standardized international post-secondary educational credentials recognition. However, for now, every time we go to a new country, our credentials need to be reevaluated to the local education standards. The educational recognition process in Canada may ask for your transcripts, certificates, and any other proof of registration. So make sure when you apply that you have everything ready in order to have every proof of registration to complete your assessment. Some of these documents may not be available to everyone. For example, someone coming from a war-torn country, maybe they haven't brought that with them. How would they get those documents? So definitely questions, that can be discussed with Wes, or people, have came to Canada a long time ago and they don't have anybody back home to contact the training institution they attended. Deregulated occupations. So in Canada, we have two kinds of jobs, and those that are regulated and those that are non-regulated. A regulated profession has a professional association or trade board that grants membership and sets certain standards for its members. According to the World Educational Services, or WES, tracking of Canadian newcomers, immigrants who seek work in regulated professions are frequently more successful at finding work in their field. However, it's not easy to go through the regulatory process, and it can be costly. Since there are fees associated with accreditation, you need to find out whether or not you need a professional or trades designation before paying for any fees. In Canada, regulated occupations have legal requirements or restrictions in place to protect the public. To work in these occupations, you must register with the appropriate professional regulatory organizations. There is about 20% of people working in Canada, such as in regulated professions such as nurse, engineers, teachers, electricians. So those are professions that are regulated. We're going to talk about some of the resources that I use, and I hope that you will use after this. One of them is the Alberta Learning Information Services. Is a fantastic tool to use. It has everything that you need to know about your occupation. And here's a screen how that looks. So you can have everything in alphabetical order. So all the occupations, information that you can find on wage and salaries, which is required today when you go for interviews with employers, employment outlook. So you want to know what are the job prospects for your occupation, the minimum education that you need for that particular occupation, high school subjects, and fields of study. So this website is fantastic. It's the Government of Alberta website, and it's something that I use every time I look for an occupation and information on that particular occupation. The next one is the International Qualification Assessment Services, or Icas, and this is also an Alberta government service. It assesses and issues certificates that compare foreign educational credentials with Canadian standards. That is something that people use to show employers here that their credentials from outside of Canada are recognized with the Canadian standard education. You can apply to Icas, on this link over here, and I can share that with you, but you can also ask questions before you apply, make sure that, as I mentioned earlier, if you're coming from a war-torn country and you may not have your transcripts, contact Icas and find out how can you proceed with an assessment of your credentials without having a complete application. Who can apply for Icas? Anyone with a formal academic or technical degree, diploma that was earned outside of Canada can apply for an assessment of their credentials. Icas does not evaluate training received in the area of trades, vocational, or professional occupations. And that's why, again, I encourage you that if you have any of those trainings that, Icas may not be able to do an assessment of your credentials, contact them first and find out if that is going to be done, or you need to provide, more information on that. The World Educational Services, also known WES, is a highly trusted credential evaluation provider. So it has excellent information, on their website, but also gives you through this on how to create an account. To get started with WES, you need to create an account. So make sure that before you submit all your information to WES, that you create an account and find out exactly what documents you need to provide when you submit an application to them. So firstly, I would say is by creating an account, I encourage you to carefully proofread your application and make sure there are no spelling mistakes, the address is accurate, the postal code is accurate, because if they mail those documents to you, it will come to the address that you provide them. So it may prolong the process if you have anything that is not done properly, or instances where people moved and they didn't provide a forwarding address to the assessment services. In case you do that, I encourage you, that you make sure that you provide all that information to them. Then you submit your required documents, and then you can monitor the application through an account. So each application is going to receive a reference number to their application that they can monitor and see how far along their credentials evaluation process has come. I love this part of WES. It offers advisor blog, and it provides a lot of great content for newcomers to Canada. There are 100 tips for immigrants, and all kind of tips and information such as job search, interview tips, career advice. In my personal and professional experience, I encourage you to work with your counselors, with your employment counselors, career counselors, people that are helping you with your job search, and you follow through on this job search tips, interview tips, career advice, first with them, and then use those blogs as additional food for thought. So make sure that you follow through on everything you started with your advisors at Prospect Employment Services, and get the help needed to be more successful in your job search. Why get an assessment? So a lot of people are doing for job search. We know that having credentials from outside of Canada, the employers don't know what those credentials may be recognized to in Canada, and they want to see that your credentials from outside of Canada are recognized in your province. Professional licensure application, so also the assessment is done. Or if you're planning to go back to school, post-secondary institutions also for applications may be needed. How can career loans help you? So we offer one-on-one virtual counseling sessions. We can help you determine career path and next steps. And we can also do referrals to local service providers such as Prospect Employment Services in your city. and we can do those referrals personalized based on, you know, a particular situation or the agreement that we have with that service provider. If you're interested in a microloan, we offer up to $15,000, and counselors, myself, the representative for Alberta, can assist you with your loan application. So the microloan is provided by our partners at HSBC Bank. And as mentioned earlier, microloan is of up to $15,000 with low interest rate with HSBC Prime plus 2%. And the loan repayment of up to 4 years or 48 months. The eligible expenses, typically what internationally trained professionals, when getting back into their fields of training, are usually using that for accreditation, for credentials assessment, exam fees, training, if they're planning to go back to college or university, the material fees, such as books and equipment, licensure fees, membership and association fees, union fees. And probably this is only a partial list, but should you have something else that is not on this list, please discuss that with me, Rodika Barbu, your representative for Alberta, and I'll be more than happy to check if that would be something, you know, that we can make an eligible expense through the microloan. Career loans is very easy to apply to. It's the website is www.careerloans.ca, and as you can see over here, the yellow button where it says register now and that red arrow. So it will take you to a next page with your province that you're in. So we offer services in Alberta and Saskatchewan. So you will apply in the province you are. And once you completed the application and submitted the application, I will be notified that you submitted the application. I will contact you to discuss next steps and to discuss your career path, career goals. So I can be reached via email at info.ab@careerloans.ca or a toll-free number at 1-888-928-1166 or local number 403-542-0812. Please find us on and follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. We share a lot of blogs, information for internationally trained individuals in Alberta and Saskatchewan, free information to you. So please, I hope you follow us, and I hope I see you there with all that valuable information that you can gain by following us. So thank you very much. That would be my presentation for today, and I'm open to any questions if you have any.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, Rodika. We're gonna allow the people that are listening in to let us know if you have any questions. And then this is something that we were discussing before this presentation, and I just wanna kind of like clarify it, because we know at Prospect that is a question that we hear a lot from job seekers. Is like, will getting a certification will impact my my job searching journey? Is it gonna help me? So we discussed a little bit about that before the broadcast, but maybe you can share with the people listening in what is your recommendation, Rodika?
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely valid question. Thank you for that, Mercedes. I absolutely believe that it's important when we take our careers so serious that we show the employers here who don't know us that our credentials, our education from outside of Canada, it's recognized from a reputable university and it's equivalent to the Canadian standards. So I absolutely encourage people. It's helping to tell the employers, so it's one step in a long process getting a job in Canada. There is no guarantees anywhere. What I'm saying is it's one step closer to that, and you want to show the employers that you're taking your career serious and that you have done all that in order to get back into your field of training.
Okay, and then you chatted a little bit about this during the presentation, but what would you say is the basic difference between Icas and WES? Do you need both? Should you get one or the other? What is the difference?
So yeah, another great question. Thank you, Mercedes. So Icas and WES do exactly the same assessments. However, for people that are coming for regulated occupations, I would encourage them to go directly to the regulatory body, because they will instruct them the assessment services that you need to use to assess your credentials. So no, you don't need to do both. So this why I believe for the people in regulated occupations, it's good to follow up with the regulatory body. And if you're planning for employment purposes, going back to school and things like that, so do either or.
So and just so it's clear, because I know that you don't represent those organizations, but you're recommending to job seekers that depending on what your situation is, you may want to check directly with them, and they will provide that information to say, you know what, this is the way to go.
Absolutely. So a lot of people are familiar with the case, and in my case, you know, I met so many people, ask them if they've done their credentials assessment before they came to Canada, and they did. Some did Icas, some did WES. But again, if you are coming from a regulated profession, I encourage you to talk to your regulatory body. If you're looking for employment, again, either or. You can ask, you know, even the employers, what would you prefer in terms of assessment services? If I should do my credentials assessment, which would you? So I'm not sure if they would recommend a specific one. I know the regulatory bodies do prefer, you know, their assessment services, and that's why I recommend that if you're a nurse, if you're a doctor, if you're a teacher, that you go through the regulatory body.
Okay, and then we also chatted a little bit about this, that is like, connect with a career advisor, because a career advisor can provide orientation to say, you know what, maybe if this is your career path that you're choosing, maybe you need to explore this option, or maybe you don't need to, right? But that's a conversation that you know, I will recommend, and I know you would too, because we were chatting about this, to connect with a career advisor, talk to them, and see, like, okay, is because obviously we know, if you're joining this webinar, you're probably looking for work. It is an investment. That's why we have here Rodica to talk about career loans, but also maybe to provide a little bit of information about, like, is this an investment that is going, I'm gonna see the return? Well, that's a conversation depending on what's your circumstances and what your occupation is, and all that stuff. I also wanted to say, Rodica, like, I love that you use Alice, because that's something that we also at Prospect recommend job seekers to use. And of course, I have to do my commercial. We have a webinar that we record every month that is called Labor Market Info Sessions, where we actually show job seekers, besides Alice, other sites where they can find this information, and they can find the requirements, and that can help them either make a decision to, should I be investing money on a certification? Do I need a certification? So fantastic. So I love that you mentioned that, because that's what we do. That's what we recommend as well. So that's fantastic. And then I have a question here from one of the people in the audience. And again, it's like, I know you don't represent WES, but we were chatting about this before the presentation. We know that WES expires at some point, and some individual is saying, I got certification. It said it was valid for 3 years. Now it has expired. What do I do?
In that case, I would recommend you get in touch with Wes if they haven't still secured a job in their field. To get in touch with Wes and see what would cost, what would be the fee to reassess that assessment that it's already been done. Is just to be issued, because the credentials are still the same, nothing else had happened. So contact Wes and find out how you can renew that assessment.
Okay. And then we have here another question from someone, and pardon me if I don't know the exact what the letters stand for. But it says, can an IEP who is currently a citizen avail a career loan? So
okay, can you repeat that?
IEP, I don't know if it's and maybe Adriana, you can help me if you know what this means. Adriana is my colleague who is listening in. An IEP can avail a career loan. So I'm assuming if they can access the career loans, and I'm assuming this is I'm gonna assume maybe they're currently a citizen. So I guess it's a question about eligibility. So
Yes.
Do you have to be an immigrant, like a permanent resident, to access the career loans? Or, for example, I've been in Canada. If you haven't noticed, I have a very strong accent. So I wasn't born in Canada, but I am a citizen now. Can I access these services or loans from career loans?
Thanks for that, Mercedes. Yeah, I really appreciate that. So definitely important question. So the eligible individuals are internationally trained individuals outside of Canada who want to get back into their field of training in Canada. Immigration status, permanent residents, Canadian citizens, or convention refugees. And minimal level of CLB level 5. Okay. So it's a norm that schools, educational institutions, training institutions, it's also regulatory bodies who are asking for a certain level of English. But I would say this also. I encourage you, if you're not sure, if the last time you've done an assessment, it was 2 years ago and you were level 3, so please talk to us. We will be happy to talk to you. And you can directly, contact me as your representative in Alberta.
And the lovely Adriana just sent me the meaning is internationally educated professional. So yeah, it will be someone like me who is now a citizen. So I hope we were able to answer your question. So we chat about some occupations that are regulated, and you mentioned a few, but which, and I don't know if you can give us a little bit of information about this, but which are the occupations that you see requesting the accreditation process more commonly?
Mm-hmm. It's the regulated professions. So medical doctors, nurses, teachers, some trades, electricians, and so on. So engineers. So make sure that, as you pointed out earlier, Mercedes, that they talk to you first. If they're unsure, so work together with their counselors at Prospect Employment Services. I strongly advise you to take the advantage. There's such a professional, such a great people that I had the pleasure to meet and work with them. And then you can make those referrals to us, Mercedes and Adriana and other people that I met. But I definitely would say that regulated will need this more.
And then here we have another question from one of our listeners. Is it okay to apply for jobs in your field, like accounting, while you are in the process of getting your credentials accredited?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this why it's good that you're already starting the process, I would say, firstly. And secondly, so if you get to that, when you get, let's put it that way, when you get to that point that you meet the employer, you can tell them that, you know, I'm in the process of getting my credentials assessed. And I could send you a copy of the assessment as soon as it's available to me. So contact before that, Wes, find out how long it's going to take, if they can tell you anything. But give some time. Is going to take some good time to have that assessed, because keep in mind, they are going to contact your training institution in your country, so all that information back and forth. And, you know, give that extra time, because right now of COVID-19 situation, the process may take a little longer too. But as long as you let the employer know that you started the process, that should count for something, and you can provide additionally to them. That may actually be sealing the deal with that employer.
And then, Rodica, as I said, like, I know you don't represent Wes or Icas, but we have a question about Icas. And they say, just like Wes that has an expiration date, is it the same? Is it the same case with the Icas?
I would say, again, you contact the body that assessed your credentials, and make sure, you know, like, I can't imagine that is the same process of, you know, the same payment, but contact them, let them know this is my file number, how much would cost to get a renewed assessment from your credential assessment services.
Okay, and then I'm just receiving here more questions. Okay, it says, if I have an engineering degree and I would like to get an accreditation in a trade position or bachelor degree, do I need to get the Wes or Icas assessment as a first step? So, okay. Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking an engineer who wants to go back to school.
It says, I would like to get an accreditation. Oh, yeah, he says yes. Okay.
So go to school to get some of his skills updated in the engineering field. But a lot of that, it's a good question for APEGA. Has this person be in touch with, or was this person in touch with APEGA? So it's very important, you know, like that you check with your regulatory body. My understanding is, you know, like with APEGA, you know, like in compared to many, many years ago when I started this, over 2 decades ago. So people, engineers right now are coming to Canada and registering with the regulatory body for engineers. For example, in Alberta, it's APEGA, you know, and they will give you the engineer in training license. What does that mean? That also expires. So you need to work hand in hand with your regulatory body, consult them. So if you're not able to get that information as quickly as possible from them, maybe you should register with a mentorship program where you can get a mentor who is licensed, who can get you through the process and how to become licensed in your province. It's a lot of steps, and if you have the right person by your side to guide you through the process, to give you the right points on how to be successful, I think it's very important that you do that. And again, contact your counselors at Prospect and ask them about mentorship program in your city. So my understanding is in Calgary is CRIAC, in Edmonton is ERIC, and so on. So please talk to your counselors if you're planning to pursue your career in your engineering field.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you, Rodica, and I believe we answered the question because they just said thank you, great information. And then so let's see a few other questions here. And again, and I think this is something that we've been discussing during the event today. But when they get this accreditation from whatever organization they decide to, do they have to provide, like I'm assuming they get a certification, and this is something that they can provide their employer if they ask for the certification, or do employers ask for a certificate?
So my understanding is, like, so each assessment, like has a file number, and I believe, like with Wes, if you tell them, I'm using this for employment purpose, can you provide me with the right information, what to use on my resume? So for that, I encourage people that definitely work with you again, with their counselors, and how to create a marketable resume, where to put that information that is visible to the employer, that their credentials are recognized from outside of Canada and compared to a reputable university in Canada. So again, work with your counselors to make a good and marketable resume for your job search. All those credentials, assessments, and all that, it may not be enough if you don't make your marketable tools known to employers. So you need to know what they're asking for, what they're looking for, to make you stand out from the rest of the people, because that would be one of the questions from the employers. And again, that is something, that you can help Mercedes and Adriana with interview tips, and why should I choose you instead of someone else? So you have to be that candidate. And again, you can provide them with all that help, resume, interview tips, and where to use that assessment on their resume.
Okay, well, Rodica, I want to thank you again for joining us and answering our questions. And for those of you who are listening, yeah, feel free to connect with Rodica if you have any further questions about career loans, or if you're eligible, and then just continue a conversation with her, because she, as she said, she has tons of experience about these topics, and she may be able to assist you and provide orientation. So thank you, Rodica. And then for you guys who are listening, I just want to remind you that if you are a job seeker and you are seeking help, if you need assistance with your resume, as I said, if you need to prep for an interview, if you have questions about exactly what we were talking about today, get in touch with us. The services that Prospect provides are at no cost. So connect with a career advisor. If you are an immigrant, you're new to Canada, and you need a little bit of orientation, come with us. As I said, as long as you have your C number, you can access our services. And as I said, there's nothing to lose. You connect with someone, and they can provide orientation. They can prep you for interviews. They can connect you with employers that are hiring. So it's a great opportunity for you if this is your current circumstance and you're looking for work, especially right now with the circumstances in the job market. Prospect, it's a great option for you. So you can see on your screen our phone number or email address. You feel free to get in touch with us, and we'll connect you with a career advisor. Also, if you have any questions about this presentation, or you weren't able to write down Rodica's email, or anything, please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, or send me an email, and I will be happy to assist you. Also, if you have any suggestions about future events or topics, or organizations that we will bring in for some of these events, so I would love to hear from you. Don't be shy. Send me an email. And then just a quick reminder that we have this presentation this week, and we have presentations every week. So make sure to check our website. I sent you the link in the chat. So that's where we post all of our events. Next week, we're going to have a company connector, which is a networking event with Avanti Software. And they're going to be sharing about their organization and what they do and their culture and how to apply for jobs in that organization. On August 11, we're going to be talking about networking for job seekers. On August 19, we're going to have the Lighthouse Labs career tips, and they're going to be talking about the tech sector in Calgary. So if that's the the sector and the industry that you're interested in, this is going to be a great session for you. Also, the job bank, the Canada Job Bank, is going to be coming here and talking about how to use that resource and find opportunities. And also on August 27th, we're going to have Go Clean Co. It's a hiring event. They're looking for people to join their cleaning crew. So if you know anyone who may be interested, please share this information with them, because we host these events for you to help you and connect you with employers, and also provide tips to assist you while you're searching for your next career opportunity. Also, as I said, if you want to be checking other events that Prospect is hosting, or the events that I just talked about, and you need a little bit more information, or you need the links, please go to our website, prospectnow.com/PES. Also, as Rodica said, follow us on Facebook, follow us on LinkedIn, because we post a lot of information, not only about events, but also resources that are going to be of your interest if you're job seeking. So feel free to follow us, because we want to keep you informed. That's what we do. And if you want to watch this again, I also share this link in the chat. Go to our channel, because we have tons of webinars that are going to be relevant to you if you are currently job seeking. There's a lot of information about what's going on right now with COVID, about online interviews, how to apply online, how to customize your resume to the current market. So there's tons of information for you, and it's there for you as well. We will post this webinar there, so if someone wants to rewatch, or they want to review the presentation again, it will be there as well. And I think for me, Rodica, that's it. Thank you very much for joining me this afternoon.
Thank you so much, Mercedes. It's a privilege, to be here today and to present to all the participants. So I wish them all the best in their future careers, and I hope to hear from some of them. So thanks again for this opportunity.
Yes, and thank you again for accepting our invitation, and I look forward to collaborate with you again in the future. So thank you, Rodica. Have an excellent afternoon. And for those of you who are still listening, thank you very much, and I hope I see you again soon for one of our events. So enjoy your afternoon, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Stay safe and healthy.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.